Have you ever thought that Satan is real or a big lie? What if I tell you that I will show you that he is real with 10 signs? While you subscribe to my channel and like my video, I explain to you 10 signs that show that Satan exists. 1. Unexplained phenomena. Have you ever been in a situation where everything seemed to fall into place at once? Picture yourself in your living room, enjoying some quiet time, when suddenly the lights begin to flicker. There is no storm outside, and the lights are not broken. There is only occasional, unsettling flickering. Perhaps you have experienced the unsettling sensation of walking into a room that, despite the relative warmth of the rest of your house, sends shivers down your spine. Have you ever had your TV or smartphone freeze up at an inconvenient moment? Like when you're talking about specific subjects or it's midnight. These might be tiny signs of a supernatural presence, or they could just be electrical oddities or coincidences, depending on who you ask. Even the most logical people can't always put their finger on what's causing these strange occurrences. They make them question if there are forces beyond our scientific understanding. When was the last time you had an interaction that made you question what was really going on? 2. Deals too good to be true. When someone has a once-in-a-lifetime chance, have you ever heard of the story? All of their wildest dreams seem to be coming true. However, a catch is present. It reminds me of those ancient stories when a soul in great need strikes a deal with Satan, giving up something priceless in exchange for their deepest desires. Consider a job offer that guarantees a 6-figure income, a chic workplace, and annual vacations to faraway places. Perhaps it's an opportunity to put money into a project that will definitely be a hit with audiences. Almost unbelievable favorableness characterizes the terms. However, as time goes on, repercussions such as strained relationships, compromised personal beliefs, or an erosion of peace of mind due to the pressures of the new position become apparent. Given these possibilities, we can't help but ask, are these just fortunate occurrences, or is something more nefarious afoot? Is it common to have a gut feeling that warns you to be wary of an offer that seems too good to be true? If an offer seems too good to be true, how can you tell? 3. Cultural depictions. Do you find it incredible that stories of demonic entities have survived throughout many civilizations, despite physical distance and the passage of time? The depiction of a wicked power is very pervasive, appearing in everything from ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics to graphic portrayals in medieval European literature, and even in contemporary books and movies. Think about how these characters typically play an important part in religious writings and folklore, acting as an antagonist to virtue and authority. Even in non-theistic faiths such as Buddhism, there are tales of Mara, who enticed Buddha away from his enlightenment path. In Hindu mythology, there are asuras, creatures who resist the devas, gods. And in Christianity, there is the fallen angel Lucifer. In the present day, these old ideas have developed into multifaceted characters in media such as movies, novels, and TV series. Public concerns and ethical quandaries are often mirrored in these depictions. In addition to depicting these demonic entities as embodiments of evil, they also portray them as misunderstood characters or tragic heroes on occasion. This recurring theme across cultures begs the question, are these tales speaking to something fundamentally human? Do you believe these stories are just for the sake of entertainment and education? Or do you think there may be any reality to the persistent presence of these evil forces in different cultures and times? 4. Miraculous escapes. Are you familiar with the unbelievable tales of people who manage to escape dangerous situations with a single, crucial step? It feels like destiny itself was changed. Imagine a car crash where the driver escapes unscathed despite the total destruction of the vehicle. Also, think about the stories of people who, for some reason, somehow manage to wake up just before their house burns down, even though their smoke detectors aren't functioning. Speculation about heavenly intervention or guardian angels is common after hearing these near-miss accounts. What if, however, there is an alternate perspective? Are these incredible escapes really mere strokes of luck, or are they the work of sinister forces with a hidden agenda? It is possible that these entities step in to save some people, using them as pawns to further their own agendas and keep their influence under wraps. The conventional account of extraordinary survival is turned upside down by this concept. The reality it portrays is more disturbing, as it implies that there is no clear distinction between saving lives and manipulating them. Is it just a matter of luck that these near misses have occurred, or could they be an indication of something more mysterious occurring behind the scenes? 5. Global myths. It's amazing to see how almost every culture on the planet has some form of devil or evil entity. From mischievous spirits in Native American folklore to demonic figures in Japanese mythology and detailed accounts of Satan in Christian theology, these entities serve as manifestations of evil and moral tests. This widespread occurrence raises intriguing questions about the human psyche and the nature of society. Why do these characters appear in stories and beliefs around the world? Do these myths reflect a shared desire to personify evil, to externalize our fears and societal taboos? The existence of these myths in various societies suggests a common human experience, an understanding that life is a struggle between good and evil, order and chaos. It could also refer to a universal method of teaching moral lessons, warning people about certain behaviors, and assisting communities in banding together to combat perceived evils. What are your thoughts? Do you believe the consistent appearance of devil-like figures across cultures reflects something innate in human nature, or is it merely the result of cultural evolution? Let us investigate what this commonality reveals about humanity's deepest fears and values. 6. Personal testimonies. Imagine meeting down with someone who tells you about a terrifying, unexplained experience with what they think is a demonic creature. Their eyes are wide, and their voice shakes slightly as they describe scenes straight out of a horror film. Across the world, many people give such personal testimonies with great conviction. These experiences vary from transient shadows in the corner of a room to overpowering feelings of fear and face-to-face encounters with people that defy rational explanation. Some people report a thick atmosphere, unexpected temperature dips, and sometimes hearing voices whispering their names. What makes these experiences so intriguing is not only the passion with which they are conveyed, but also their similarities, despite the fact that the storytellers often have no connection to one another. It's easy to reject a tale or two as misinterpretations or the work of a wild imagination. However, when you hear identical stories from individuals from all backgrounds and places, the sheer number of these testimonials becomes difficult to ignore. It raises the question, are all of these folks inventing their experiences? Or is there any reality to their claims? Have you ever had the chance to hear of someone's first-hand encounter with something they considered supernatural? What was your impression? Do you find such tales entertaining, or do you view them skeptically? Let's look at what these personal testimony entail for the nature of reality and human perception. 7. Historical accounts. Exorcisms and allegations of demonic possession have been well documented throughout history, spanning all corners of the world, and go well beyond the plot lines of contemporary Hollywood thrillers. These narratives may be found in ancient religious books, medieval chronicles, and even the records of court trials from various times. For example, the Catholic Church's exorcism ceremonies include specific processes that have developed over centuries to cope with possessed manifesting as extreme bodily and psychological symptoms. Similarly, many indigenous societies have their own rituals for removing bad spirits, which are firmly ingrained in their spiritual and social lives. These historical narratives often depict dramatic episodes in which people allegedly speak in unfamiliar languages, exhibit unusual strength, or divulge information they could not reasonably have known. Such narratives are more than just anecdotes. They typically include testimonials from contemporaneous witnesses and were considered seriously by the authorities at the time. In today's scientifically oriented environment, these past examples provide a huge problem. How can we explain these verifiable incidents with a contemporary worldview that is skeptical of the supernatural? Is there place in modern philosophy for such events, or should these stories be reinterpreted in psychological or metaphorical terms? When reflecting on these issues, it is critical to evaluate not just the reports themselves, but also the cultural circumstances in which they happened. What are your thoughts on these historical occurrences of exorcism and possession? Do they reveal anything about the human condition that we should not reject too quickly? Let's look at what these practices may signify for understanding the relationship between belief, psychology, and the unexplained. 8. Inexplicable cruelty. Sometimes the extent of brutality that people can inflict on one another seems to be beyond comprehension. We witness this in acts of violence and hostility that go beyond what we may consider normal human behavior, from genocides and torture to more intimate, but equally devastating, acts of cruelty in household and social situations. What motivates such severe behaviors? Some argue that these activities are inspired by an evil energy, implying that such darkness is not only the result of the person, but may be led by external, nefarious impulses. This viewpoint sees severe acts of cruelty as representations of something other than human nature, maybe indicating demonic influence or the existence of an evil power. Psychology, on the other hand, provides answers based on human nature, pointing to a complex interaction of circumstances such as mental illness, socioeconomic conditions, prior traumas, and overpowering fear or wrath. These influences may drive people to do things they wouldn't normally do. The issue then becomes, is attributing such activities to a malicious external force a method to make sense of the inexplicable, or does it shift blame away from people and society? Could accepting both perspectives, psychological and even supernatural, help us better understand and confront the causes of such great cruelty? What is your position on this difficult issue? Do you regard these acts of cruelty as a reflection of the darkest part of our nature? Or do you think there are other factors at work? Let's look at the consequences of these perspectives and how they affect our understanding of morality and human conduct. 9. Symbols and signs. Certain symbols and signs have been shrouded in mystery for generations, associated with the devil and demonic activity. Consider the pentagram, which has been utilized in a variety of religious and spiritual settings, but is often seen as a sign of demonic ceremonies when reversed. Consider the number 6666, which is often referred to as the number of the beast in Christian history, and appears in several legends and conspiracy theories. These symbols exist in a variety of media and cultural contexts, including classic literature, horror films, current tattoos, and pop culture allusions. Their repetition begs the question, are these appearances just coincidence, or do they delve into a deeper, maybe darker vein of human consciousness? The usage of such symbols may generate powerful emotional responses, acting as a shorthand for evil and inspiring dread or curiosity. They often participate in rituals, claiming to harness magical abilities or interact with extraterrestrial creatures. This long-standing relationship with the demonic implies that, whether or not one believes in their physical power, these symbols serve to connect ideas of good and evil throughout cultures and centuries. So, what are your thoughts on these symbols and their significance? Are they just cultural objects handed down through generations? Or do they have a genuine spiritual or metaphysical significance? Let's look at how these historical symbols continue to shape our contemporary ideas of morality, spirituality, and the supernatural. 10. Personal intuition. Have you ever stepped into a room and had a shiver run down your spine, or had an uncontrollable sensation of dread that made you want to leave right away? Many individuals claim having this kind of personal intuition or gut feeling, particularly when they express feeling that something sinister is going on. These moments are sometimes disregarded as only a draft or the effect of a weary mind, but for those who have experienced them, they may seem extremely real and frightening. Sometimes it's the feeling of being watched when no one else is around, or hearing faint murmurs that can't be detected. Other times it's simply an overpowering sense of discomfort that sets in, making your heart race and your nerves tense. These experiences challenge our concept of reality and might cause us to wonder what is beyond the concrete world we see. They raise the question, is there more to our human senses than science currently understands? Could these sentiments be subconscious warnings about potential dangers? Exploring these disturbing thoughts and their origins takes us into the vast, undiscovered realms of human awareness, as well as the potential of a spiritual or supernatural realm. How do you understand such feelings? Are they just physiological reactions? Or may they be indicators of something deeper and invisible, impacting our environment? Let's look at the nature of intuition and its function in detecting the unknown. What is your experience? Have you ever sensed a presence or a cold that you couldn't explain? Now, in your opinion, what are these points? Do you think these are only coincidences and fables? Or is there sufficient evidence to make you question the existence of Satan? I would love to hear what you think. After all, venturing into the unknown is a really exciting adventure, so let's continue our discussion.